Well, hello, writers. I'm Lisa Cooper Ellison, a writer, trauma informed writing coach, and the host of the Writing and Resilience podcast. And I want to welcome you to part one of my Building Your Resilient Writing Practice series, The Power of Writing Rituals. In this video, we're going to look at what rituals are, how rituals can help you maximize your writing time, and then I'm going to share several rituals that you can do that will help you maximize your writing time. So let's begin by talking about what a ritual is. We often think about rituals in terms of religious practices, but really anything can be a ritual. So if you brush your teeth every day or sit down in the same place to eat whatever your first meal of the day is, those are two things that are rituals. And what a ritual does is it primes your brain for whatever the task is ahead. So let's say that you're going to go to work and you sit down and you log into your computer, what will happen is that your brain will begin thinking through the things you need to do for the day. And it does so automatically. So, those automatic thoughts that you have are happening because your brain has been primed to think about sitting in front of your computer as time to go to work. So, you can build rituals that prime your brain to get ready to write. And this can be so helpful because we're all told to sit down and write. What often happens is our brain feels distracted, we have a lot of chatter, and begin by just jotting down all kinds of notes. We don't know where we're going, and there's a lot of chaos in the beginning of any writing session. And that's a normal part of the process. And we often call that throat clearing. And that throat clearing is often the reason why we write a draft and then we send it off for feedback. And people will say, you know what? This actually starts on page 3. That's because those first couple of pages are throat clearing, where you're revving up and getting ready to figure out what your truest and best ideas are. A writing ritual primes the brain and it settles that chatter so that you get to those ideas a little faster. Is that going to eliminate all of the chatter? Absolutely not. That's part of the process, but it will make your writing practice so much more efficient. So instead of spending, let's say you have a 20-minute writing block, spending 15 minutes throat clearing and then 5 minutes really getting down to business, you're going to spend a lot more of that time actually doing your writing. All right, so now that we've talked about what rituals are and how they can help your writing practice, let's talk about 4 different ways you can include rituals in your writing practice. One of the best ways to do this is through a mindfulness based meditation. So, mindful meditation is just a meditation where you are stilling the brain and becoming very present. When you do that, all of that chatter around you goes away and it allows you to really hear the voice inside. I have listed a couple of my favorite mindfulness based meditations that you can do in the description for this video. However, you can also go to Insight Timer because they have a lot of great free meditations that you can check out. However, while I love meditation and I tell everyone to check it out, it's not good for everyone, especially if you're a trauma survivor. So, for some trauma survivors, meditation just absolutely doesn't work. And if that's the case, there are a number of other things you can do. One is a clearing writing prompt. So, this is a prompt that I give to classes that helps people get rid of all of the stuff they're trying to hold on to. And here's the prompt: write about what keeps you from being present. You just set a timer for 3 minutes and you get started. And you write down anything that's in your brain. Maybe it's what you did before, how you felt about what you did before. Maybe you're making your grocery list for after your writing time. Whatever's on your mind, you put it down on paper. What that does is it gets all of that out of your working memory and it tells your brain not to worry about it because everything's down on paper. So it doesn't have to remember it. You can just return to it later. Another thing you can do is you can add movement to your writing practice. So maybe you go for a walk or you do a little dance. What I would invite you to do if you include movement is to do something that gets your hands and your feet crossing the midline. Okay, so you'll see my hands are moving from side to side. When you cross the midline, what happens is you get the left and the right hemispheres of the brain to speak, and that makes you more creative. right? Allows more of your brain to be activated, and that alone can enhance your writing practice. The last thing you can do is you can create some sort of sensory ritual that you're going to do every single time that primes your brain that when this thing happens or I feel these things, I'm ready to be creative. So, some sensory practices that you can put into play might be brewing a cup of tea. So, maybe you're going to watch the water boil, you're going to put it into the cup, you're going to hold the cup so that your hands are feeling the warmth of the cup. Maybe you're going to smell the tea and you're going to take a taste. All of those sensory stimuli that you're doing, if you do it repeatedly right before you write, will tell your brain, when I drink this tea, it's time to write. You can also eat something crunchy or something spicy. Those are two things that can wake up the brain, especially if you're feeling sluggish. Or you can think about something else that you can do that stimulates one of your senses. So, sight, smell, sound, touch, taste. Think about what those things are that work for you that help you prime your brain to engage in your writing practice. So that's how you build a ritual to enhance your writing practice. If you want to understand yourself through writing, complete a memoir about a tough topic, or just learn more about the psychology of writing, be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel. You can also check out the series in the search bar below, and be sure to get a copy of my Write More, Fret Less toolkit by going to lisacooperellison.com. And if you want to know the secret to not just showing up to the page, but figuring out exactly what to write on any given day, be sure to check out this video.